Hey everybody, Alvie from MobileCupOfJoe here, and I have a bearded review for us today. Today we're looking at the LG G4. Now this is arguably the flagship for 2015. So let's go ahead and find out if this lives up to the hype or is just another Android phone. But first, I want you to grab your coffee cup, fill it up, bring it over, and sit on down. And take a swig from your MobileCupOfJoe.
Arguably the flagship device of 2015, the LG G4 has garnered a lot of praise from critics for its camera, user experience, and build quality. First off, let's just get the specs out of the way. Sporting a Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 processor with 3GB of RAM, 32GB of storage, a Quad HD display, and a 16-megapixel camera, it sure sounds good on paper. But we've seen plenty of devices that sound good on paper. With an ergonomic body and design, the G4 comes in a variety of colors and backs. There is a quiet elegance to the G4, especially with all the buttons and rockers on the back. Although it takes a moment to adjust how you use the device, having all the activity on the back means the sides of the device are minimal. Smooth, clean lines frame the device, and the slightly curved back holds in your hand perfectly. Even the buttons are exactly where they should be on the back, as your finger can find exactly the right position for volume and power. Just holding this is a pleasure, with quality materials and design throughout. But that speaker is on the back, and with so many other devices using front-facing speakers, it's a costly oversight on a device built for consuming media. As far as the screen goes, the G4 boasts a 5.5-inch Quad HD, that's quad with a capital Q, and can get bright and vivid. And if you are in an environment that allows, you can relax and enjoy games, movies, videos, and more. Colors pop, action is smooth, and everything seems ready to come flying off the screen. Attention to detail gives the LG G4 the visual appeal needed to stand out from the rest of the pack. Games are a blast on the G4, and with the Snapdragon processor you will have plenty of power to blast through enemies with no drop frames. And you can enjoy movies and videos with no stutters or skips. With front-facing speakers, LG could have had a truly immersive experience. Sadly, we're left hoping for the G5. Pictures on the G4 have been impressive, but there are two sides to the camera. First is the 16 megapixel, which provides stellar shots, and the camera on the G4 provides any number of options and settings, if you know how to use them. It can get confusing quickly with the plethora of options available, and pictures might not turn out right if you have a certain setting wrong. That leaves auto mode. Auto pictures, while nice, seems to use an average setting for all pictures instead of actually automatically selecting the best options for the shot. The camera on the LG G4 is great. I just wish there was a way to get closer to the quality of manual mode without having to mess around with 100 settings before snapping one pic. If you're into that thing, it's perfect for you. But if you're someone trying to just pull out your phone and catch a once-in-a-lifetime shot, then you might have to spend some time in post-processing to get it looking right. LG's skin on the G4 is reminiscent of Samsung's, and sadly that isn't a compliment. Everything is colored and bubbled, and it seems to dull the experience of Android Lollipop. Lollipop has a soft matte look from Google, but after LG's skin it feels more cartoon-like. Now this isn't the worst we've seen, but knowing what Lollipop could be, here it is just disappointing. Thankfully that doesn't translate to a poor user experience, as the skin is still light enough not to inhibit any performance. Everything feels snappy even when using multiple apps in dual window mode, LG's answer to multitasking, and the G4 handled any task or demand without ever worrying about keeping up. But wow, does this thing get hot! Whenever the LG G4 has to work, it heats up. And I'm talking like hot, like hurt to touch hot. And not when just pushing it to its limits either. Just when asking the G4 to push a few apps, maybe games, or even a phone call. But if you do push it really hard, here's when you'll notice your biggest issues. Apparently LG knew it would get hot because there are plenty of features to help cool it down. If the temperature gets too high, the screen dims, performance is sacrificed, and other features are either limited or disabled until the device cools. A necessary feature, but when trying to use this thing outdoors in the summer, you might find yourself more frustrated than anything. The camera will spike the temperature, and trying to take pictures while the screen is dimmed is almost impossible outside. Battery life has been very acceptable, with over 5 hours of screen on time with light to moderate usage, and even providing right at 2 hours of use during non-stop heavy use. And that's playing games, camera, multitasking, playing videos, all basically at the same time. But during a normal day, there's plenty of juice to last well into the night. Call quality is exceptional here, with both the caller and myself coming in clear. A fantastic feature of a phone calls. Often this is overlooked today with so many people using their phones as a phone less and less. But still, plenty of people need to make calls, and the LG G4 can handle that too. But the heat of the phone can be an issue here too, as a longer phone call can heat up the phone to a point where it's painful. More than once I had to keep the phone lifted off my face because it was just too hot against my skin. You can get your hands on your very own LG G4 for around $200 on contract, or somewhere around $20 a month on an installment plan, depending on what provider and options. A great phone with plenty of power to handle anything thrown at it, the G4 does have issues. Overheating and a rear-facing speaker prevent this from being perfect. The camera, while it can deliver pictures that rival professional photo shoots, often falls short when trying to get a quick shot. But even with those problems, the LG G4 does live up to the hype. It is a great device that looks and feels great, and can do just about anything you ask, except cool down.
Well, that's our review of the G4 from LG. Agree or disagree? Be sure to leave a comment down below. Also, let me know if you pick up one of these. How were those pictures turning out? Share some on some of the socials, #MCOJBrew. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click subscribe and check out some of our other videos while you're here. We'll see you next time.